Hello, everyone. Greetings. This is Payman Lorenzo, your host, your friend, your coach. Today, excited to be kicking off day 3 of the live 5-day profitable podcast launch challenge for the month of June 2025. This is for the US, Canada, Australia, perhaps even Edmonton invasion, but in a good way. It's not invasion, it's a good Edmonton party. I used to live in Edmonton, so always special place for me. So welcome, guys, and today we're going to be kicking off day 3, and that's going to be a very powerful one. It's going to be about crafting your irresistible ticket offer. Do you guys see my screen? All right. So today's menu is going to be crafting your irresistible slam dunk Godfather offer. So we're going to be taking your zone of genius from day 2 from yesterday. And your zone of genius is going to determine for us what is going to be the number one pain point that you're solving through your offer, your podcast, your business, and for who. And I'm going to also introduce a very important principle of business, and that is called the quantifiable, measurable end result. And I'll explain that to you in a moment. So by the end of this call today, you will have the framework, the formula to create your irresistible offer. An offer so good that people, in the words of Alex Hormozy, people would feel stupid saying no to. And of course, in the words of the Godfather, an offer they can't refuse. So let's get going. So that's the agenda. But before we start, any questions about yesterday, day 2? Because day 2 yesterday was an important one. So any questions, comments, compliments, especially about my shiny hair?
I actually took your questions. So I took your slideshows, took your questions,
Okay.
and bought them into ChatGPT to help me
Oh,
refine a little bit more. So that's where I got my homework from because I don't always like what it spits out.
oh yeah,
So I always add my own tweak.
absolutely. Always listen, guys. I love ChatGPT. The students from the UK class and even the US class from the last academy, we started giving her a name. I don't know, her or him, whatever. And the number one name that came was Chatty. Hey, Chatty, how do we do this? So yes, it's good to use that as a foundation, but then, of course, absolutely add your sauce, your personality, your voice, your tone, and all that to make it more you. Because again, it's all about your voice. But yes, ChatGPT is an absolutely beautiful asset. So much that I upgraded to the paid one, and it's worth it. All right, let's get going. So here's a very common dilemma and misconception that people, myself included in the past and not so long ago, the first question we ask is, so what niche should I go into? And as we all know by now, it's not about selecting a hot, trendy, or sexy niche. It's about looking in the mirror. It's about your skills, your talents, your expertise, your experiences, your wisdoms, and ultimately your gifts. And all of that will lead us, just like an old saying, all roads lead to Rome. In this case, all things lead to your zone of genius, because it's all about your zone of genius. And that is essentially helping one very specific person with one very specific pain point. And the good news is that specific person is not some fictional character. It's simply you, the you of you. I watched last night a very powerful podcast from a very successful business person, and she was saying the exact same thing. Your audience is the version of you of 5 years ago. And when she said that, I literally jumped. So, wow, I'm not the only one saying this. So that's it. Your avatar, so to speak, is the version of you of 5 years ago. However long it was when you were just starting on your journey, when you were at your lowest. If you can simply take your journey, document it, and reverse engineer it, because there's millions of people would love to know to get to where you are now. Sorry, not millions of people. Millions of your Anns, Madelinas, Janes, Arlene's, Payments, Allison's that are desperately looking for the future version of themselves. and which is where you are now. That's it. Does that make sense, guys? Because again, as we saw so far, the number one reason why most entrepreneurs online fail to get any traction, that is because of lack of clarity. And speaking of clarity, here's a powerful test. Imagine we're all sitting, or you're sitting with people around the table, enjoying a meal and good conversation, and the person next to you leans over and says, "Hey, Anne, Madlena, Jane, Arlene, Allison, so what do you do?" That's a common question, right? Now, let me tell you, I hope that you're not going to start the conversation, the sentence with, "Well, it's kind of complicated," or "Let me tell you a story. Let me take you on a journey." Oh, this is how it started happening. Because if you're starting that way, I'm sorry to say, but you don't have a business. You need to have such a clear, laser-focused answer, one or two sentences, that when that person hears what you're saying, he or she will know exactly what you're doing, and that person does not need to probe you or interrogate you for further questions. Because again, if you cannot answer this question in a very simple way, that the other person, she or he understands perfectly what you're saying, and the only thing in their mind is, "Wow, that's amazing. Can you help me? What's the next step? How do I start?" You want to have a laser focus, and we're going to go to that answer. So you want that reaction with this person. So let me ask you guys. Imagine I'm asking you, so Anne, Madlena, Jane, Arlene, Allison, so what do you do? Answer me that question in one sentence. Yes, I'm putting you on the spot in such a way that is crystal clear for me, that I don't need to drill you for further questioning. Starting with you, Anne, from left to right. So Anne, what do you do?
I lead parents out of survival into passion and purpose by shifting their beliefs, habits, and actions, utilizing coaching, digital marketing systems, and wellness tools to prioritize presence over paycheck.
So that's a great one. Now, imagine that someone is saying this exact same phrase to you. What would be your reaction? Be completely honest. Sorry?
Now,
Okay, that's a good one. What about you, ladies? The rest of you. What comes to mind when you just heard that sentence? It's a powerful and beautiful one, but let's take it to the next level.
and I do feel it is missing pieces.
Sorry, one at a time, please. Go ahead.
I personally would shorten it.
Yes.
For me, and I'm saying this with love and appreciation, it's
Absolutely.
too much information.
Yes.
Tell me 1, 2, 3, 4 so that I can follow it. Don't tell me how you do it. Tell me whom you help, what's the main point, and where do you bring them as a result?
Yes, absolutely. And also to add to this, I was listening to a podcast a few days ago from Alex Hormozy, and he said that anyone that he coaches that is successful, they have one thing in common. Their statement has only one thing they're doing. Don't try to help people with 2 or 3 things, because you're going to confuse them. Let me help you with your health, fitness, relationships, kitchen, garden, garage, and basement. No, just one thing. So for example, in your sentence, Anne, repeat it again.
I lead parents out of survival into passion and purpose by shifting their beliefs, habits, and actions, utilizing coaching, digital marketing or digital income systems, and wellness tools, prioritizing presence over paycheck.
All right, beautiful. So what is the one thing, the most important thing you're doing for them? Focus your messaging on that one thing.
It would be leading them out of survival into purpose and passion.
All right, beautiful. That's much better. And we're gonna see today how to make that crystal clear, especially
Okay.
once you implement the quantifiable, measurable end result. Thank you for sharing this. That's beautiful. Madlina, what about you? So what do you do?
I show women whose children have left the house how to use the silence of their I'm getting confused myself. How to use the silence of their empty nest as a stepping stone to start writing a new radiant chapter. And what I said to Anne applies to me as well. So
Yes.
my mantra is empty your nest, feel your life. So I show women whose nest is empty how to feel their life.
Beautiful. What kind of, let's hear from the rest of you. What comes to mind when you just heard this powerful and beautiful statement? Jane, you want to say something? You're nodding?
Yeah, I thought I was drawn in. I thought it was appealing.
Okay. Okay. What came to your mind when you heard that? Were you confused or were you, wow, how can you help me? What came to your mind?
I was not real clear on how she could help me.
What would you need for her to say to be very clear for you? And that applies to all of us.
Yeah.
So,
Like for me, I know when I started on my own spiritual journey, people talked about light and downloads and all, and I didn't understand any of that lingo early on. Like I get it now, but for somebody that's entering that space or entering the journey, they may not know what the light is.
Absolutely.
yeah. So let me ask the question again. The question that just continuing the conversation I'm having with Jane, and that applies to all of us, all of you, including myself. What would you need in Madlina's sentence to be crystal clear for you to the point that your next reaction is, oh, wow, that's exactly what I need. Can you help me, Madlina? And that's a question I want to ask all of you guys to brainstorm and ask yourselves in a very objective and truthful way. What can I add that's going to make this so clear that the person will say, wow, that's exactly what I need. Where have you been all my life?
That's what I feel I'm missing.
Okay. Awesome. Anyone else wants to add any more feedback on Madlina's beautiful statement?
I got confused and went straight to birds in a nest. So I don't know whether or not we need something about empty nesting that's more humanized rather than a bird and a nest. But then I've still got kids at home, so that might just be my whole spectrum interpretation of it. But you're talking about empty nests, and I'm going, all right, so the bird's fallen out or an egg's fallen out. So I was a bit confused, but that's just very much me.
That's a great
I'm a
point.
bit too literal, sorry.
No, love that.
No, that is a good point because like I know what empty nesters are, but different cultures may not. So that's a good point because I knew what it was, but like you say, Allison, they don't use that lingo per se. So yeah, so like empty nesters are parents who have the kids that have left, and you're an empty nest.
Like I've heard of it before, but when I was hearing it, for some reason the brain
You went to the
has
bird's
gone to
nest.
a bird.
Yeah.
So I guess it's the good old English language and interpretation where it was like, yes, I've heard of empty nesters before, but possibly because I'm not at that point now is why it didn't resonate as well and my mind's gone to a bird.
Yeah, great
But for
point.
someone who is an empty nester, they might go, oh yeah, that's me. So I don't know. That's just my interpretation very much of it.
I love that. Thank you. Madlina, is that helpful?
Yes, very much so.
All right. Awesome. Thank you, guys. Next, Jane. So what about you, my friend? What do you do?
In everything I do, the goal is to bring women into a place of radiance and vibrant energy. So
Okay.
they have vitality, express it in the work they do and in their personal development. to be connected to that inner stillness we all have inside of us that I call the wonder zone. And to support you with this, I use energy work, I train on this, and I use coaching.
Okay. Beautiful. Now, let's hear some feedback. What came to your mind when you heard this powerful statement?
What Anne said, a beautiful spiritual language. Not everyone understands, and there is no judgment here.
Yes.
So how do women feel after they have walked the path with you? What changes? Do they reconnect with their self? Do they come home to their true self with one sentence?
Beautiful. And if I may add one more thing as well, the first feedback that Madlena gave to Anne, make it shorter. Any other feedback for Jane?
I was going to say make it shorter too.
There you go.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
I've been
So-
condensing and trying to refine it and take out this spiritual language. And so that's good
Tough when you're in
feedback.
it, right?
Yeah.
I
And
get a
like
question.
this is way toned down, right? Like it's like so simplified, and yet I know it's not simple. So
Yes.
it's a work in
Well,
progress.
exactly.
Can
you
I
for
say
feedback.
something? When I'm working with ChatGPT, and it has a name really. So my ChatGPT is called itself Solea because this is the combination between soul and love. So I love it.
Mhm.
On a side note, so I say, Solea, could you please put this sentence down to earth in a language my 7 years old grandson understands?
I love that. What I put for Chatty when I ask Chatty for anything, I say, put it in a humane, in a conversational, humane, friendly, inspiring. If it's for marketing, compelling, irresistible, whatever you want to add. But for me, the most important thing is human, conversational tone, inspiring, friendly, and add a sprinkle of humor. That's what I like to. That's my voice. So find your voice and ask Chatty what you want. So Madlena, did you say it's Solaire?
Solea,
You know,
a lady who is working in the area of online marketing for many years, she said, please talk to ChatGPT and ask what name does she wants to have.
beautiful.
But before that, to give this ChatGPT a sense of who I am, I copied my LinkedIn profile and posted it there.
Mhm.
And this was my own language. Who I am expressed, even English is not my mother tongue. So the ChatGPT had already an idea what language I use. And from there, it adjusted itself, started talking to me in a different way. So for example, ChatGPT told me, your empty nesters, let's stay with that for a while, they carry in one hand the grief and the other hand the purpose.
Mm.
And this is something which can be used. It's
Yeah.
not very spiritual because this radiance, this high vibrational energy, it's a beautiful place to be, Jane. But not
Yes.
everyone understands that who just starts on her
Yes.
spiritual journey.
Absolutely. Great point. Just one thing I want to add about the name Solaire. In French, Solaire means sun. Something related to sun. So when I heard that, I say, wow, radiant energy. Say, wow, that's a beautiful name. But when I asked ChatGPT, what is your name? The response I get was, you can call me whatever you want. I said, be careful what you ask, my friend. anyways. Thank you. Next. What about you, mate? Allison, what do you do? Unmute yourself. And let me, if I can unmute.
What's going on?
Yeah.
No, I'm still here. All right. So I help women who are feeling lost and alone in negative relationship have the confidence to leave the relationship and rebuild their life.
All right, repeat it again.
So I help women who are feeling stuck in a bad relationship with children leave the relationship safely so they can rebuild their life.
I like that. Short, sweet, to the point. I like that.
What if you use the word toxic relationship?
Sorry, what was that?
Toxic relationship instead bad.
But yeah.
That's a good point.
Yeah, it's a suggestion.
Yeah. What other feedback? Sorry, go ahead.
It could, instead of bad, it could even be unfulfilling, because it doesn't necessarily have to be a bad relationship or toxic. It could just be somewhere that they're not feeling seen or heard and want to have something better. So yeah, they've got to play around with that word.
So Alison, as I mentioned before, you or your avatar, what kind of bad relationship did you go through? Was it toxic, unfulfilling? Use the word that you went through, because as I said, you're just sharing your story.
Yeah.
So use the adjective that describes what you went through in your sentence.
Yeah.
Whatever
so,
that
yeah,
is.
it'd be toxic or abusive.
Exactly. So use that. If that's what you went through, use that, because that's your gift. And that applies to all of us. Because again, you are your avatar. What other feedback do you guys have for Alison? What comes to your mind when you heard a powerful statement? Imagine you're one of her prospects.
I want to hear more.
I heard a way out.
Yeah, a clear direction is what I heard as well.
Beautiful. Alan, do you have any feedback for her?
Yes, I would just say, man, I need to talk to you.
Guys, don't be shy. Get on calls with each other to get to know each other. Who knows? Perhaps you guys can combine forces and cook it magic together.
Mhm.
Because this is one of the greatest benefits of any event, online and offline, is the connections. Remember what I shared with you yesterday? In the US alone, this year, over $50 billion of money is going to be going to, between people exchanging hands as a result of people connecting on a podcast. 50 billion with a B. That's in the US alone. So in the world, it's probably 5-10x. So get in calls with each other. You never know. At the very least, get to know each other.
Yeah, I have a quick question. So Jane and I had the how at the end of our statement. Should we not have that in there and just have it very direct of pain and solution?
What do you think? Put yourself in, imagine that you're hearing that.
Mm-hmm.
What comes to your mind? Would you like to have the how as well? Would you like some how as well in your order, ma'am?
I would.
Perfect.
That's why I put mine in there.
How do you want it? Rare, medium, or well done? And how fast do you want it?
Yeah. Yesterday. No.
Oh, that's very good, because that's exactly what we're going to be looking at. So beautiful. We're going to get to that. Arlene, what about you, my dear? What do you do?
I work with independent women, overcoming their fears of going into retirement and showing them what the excitement can be.
Repeat it, please.
Yeah, I just kind of made that up. Somebody asked me at the dinner table, first I'd pick up my glass of wine, I'm sure. I would say I work with independent women going into retirement with their fears of going into retirement, and can show them that the next journey is going to be exciting.
Love that. Love that. Before I say anything, once you've created your statement, repeat it, so that when someone asks you, you say it as the most natural way, as if it was asking, what time is it? Oh, it's 2:25, in a very confident way. in front of a mirror. Practice, practice, practice. So you don't look like, I do, because when you do that, you're sending the message that you're not confident. You don't know what you're doing.
Yeah, I just added that excitement part in there because I
Oh, that's
thought
right.
when you were talking about what I went through, I'm the avatar.
That's it.
There was the fear of the unknown, but
Mhm.
yet there was this excitement. So
Yeah.
yeah, and I thought, yeah, I got to work that in there.
Absolutely. So, ladies, when you heard Arlene's powerful statement, what came to your mind? Was it confusion? Was it, oh wow, I need this?
Where she said it a bit slower, like you said, you could. She said she made it up on the fly. You could almost tell a little bit. But you said something yesterday when
Yeah.
Payman asked you to introduce yourself, and it came off like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it did. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the one I've been working with.
And what was that one? Because that
That
one
was-
was good too.
Yeah, I help independent women going into retire with their fears of the unknown of going into retirement.
You said it differently yesterday.
Oh,
I
yeah, I
show
don't remember
women
what I-
how to remove the fear of the retirement in shorter than 3 weeks.
And as
Oh yeah,
I distinctly remember because it was really powerful. So I'm just
Okay.
reminding you.
Yeah. So yeah, you're right. I did put that in there as well.
so practice
Because
this one, even memorize it. Yeah.
Yeah, because that one I had, but I don't know if I'd put in the 3 weeks if I was just talking to somebody over a glass of wine at a dinner party.
Yes.
But we're listening with our hearts and we remember.
Yeah.
Yeah, you rattled it off really good yesterday.
Oh,
So that's a confirmation, my friend.
yes.
Replay.
Thank you.
And yes, you do want to include the time frame because again, the time
Yeah.
frame is one of the most important factor because we want to know, so how long is it going to take for me potentially to get that desired outcome? Because that's a very key element of your statement, the time frame. Your statement has to include, I'm going to explain that in a moment, has to include what is it, first of all, for who, what is it, doing what, and how long. 4 non-negotiable factors. Again, what is it? First of all, you call out the person, for who is it, doing what, sorry, for who is it, what is it, doing what, and how long. These are absolutely non-negotiable. We're going to dive into that in a moment. So, has everyone shared the statement? Raise your left foot if you haven't. Whoops. Oh, wow, she did it. All
Put
right,
my
all
back
right.
out. No.
That was a good one. That was a good one. Okay, good, good. Let's move on. So again, as I said, you want to hone in on your messaging and answer that question, even if you have to pick up your glass of wine or coconut coffee like me here. Take a nice sip before you answer and answer it with confidence, as if it's the most natural thing ever. So practice, practice, practice. Because if you cannot answer this question if you have to answer the question in a way that the other person is confused and ask you questions, then guess what? You don't have a business. As simple as that. Because again, remember what I said? Clarity is the name of the game. I want you guys to memorize this. Clarity is the name of the game, literally. And the flip coin of that is there's a real cost because of lack of clarity, a real cost. Speaking of that, let's brainstorm and let's be truthful here. How much is not having clarity in your offer costing you and your business? How much money per transaction are you leaving on the table? How much more can you charge? These are powerful questions that I want you guys today, tomorrow, this week to really think about this and really deeply. Because again, clarity equals magnetism. Magnetism equals compelling, profitable. As I said, the more clarity you have, the more profitable your offer is going to be. As simple as that. There's no way around it. So let's briefly, 1 or 2 words. How much do you think not having clarity in your offer is costing you per transaction or per month? Go ahead,
Tens of
left foot.
thousands of dollars.
Go ahead, left foot. I'm going to call you left foot from now on.
Tens of thousands of dollars
Oh,
per month.
Easy.
Easy, 100% easy.
Be more than that. Probably be like it's
Yep.
priceless what we're losing,
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
which is
Hundreds
scary.
of thousands. Yep. Yeah.
Oh, yes, absolutely. What about you, Jane?
Yeah, I would agreed. It's like thousands of dollars a month probably, but extrapolated over time would be massive.
Oh, absolutely. Madlena?
I think that the loss is not only money, but people who are waiting outside for their pain problem to be solved, and we have the solution, and we cannot reach out to these people. This is even the bigger loss, because people are still suffering while we have the solution.
Absolutely. One more question on that. Quickly, how much is your offer currently? Anyone, just blur it out.
2,000.
My 5-week program, I'm going to be selling for $997.
All right. How much more can you sell it for with laser focus clarity?
Probably 3 to 5, maybe more.
There you go. So again, this is real. There's a real life cost to the lack of clarity and the thousands of dollars. You just said it yourself. And I'm glad that you're aware of that, because yes, and as we go deeper, you will see, oh, wow, you're literally leaving thousands of dollars on the table. It's not just a financial cost also, because when you don't have clarity, guess what? You're attracting the wrong person. And the wrong person, with all respect due, it's going to be a pain in the butt. And they're not going to be motivated, not going to get results, going to be frustrating and downward spiral.
And that's a cost of time that we can't get back.
Oh, big time, big time.
Mhm.
So it's not just a financial cost. It's the other costs as well that are equally, if not more important than the money side. Does that make sense? Let's move forward. Here's one of the most powerful breakthroughs for me that I want to share with you. I was listening to this guy from I believe, the UK, very successful copywriter. And when he said that, I had to pause and listen to it. And he said, your customer has to care about the problem before they can care about the solution, you and your offer. Let me repeat that again. Your customer has to care about the problem before they can care about the solution, you and your offer. What does that mean? Remember what I said initially, that our number one task as a coach, as a mentor, as a guide, as an activator, as a big brother, big sister, is to educate our audience as to what is a problem, why the problem is here in the first place, what's going to happen if they don't take any action, and the painful cost of inaction. Because again, if someone comes to you and tries to pitch you right away on something that you may not even understand, that you don't even know you have that problem, you're not gonna give them time of the day. But if they take the time to really educate you, then you say, wow, I didn't even know I had this problem. So this, guys, is incredibly powerful, important. I want you guys to screenshot this and always remember that. Does that make sense? Because again, as I shared the other day, our two main tasks, number one, is to educate them in understanding what is a problem they're facing, why it's here in the first place, what would happen if they don't take any action, and the real cost of inaction. And once they understand that, then they will have a aha moment in their mind. Oh, wow. When you take the time to educate your prospect as to what is a problem, what do you think is the next question that comes to their mind? Once they fully understand the problem, they, wow. What question?
How can you help me
How?
with the solution?
That's it. How can I fix it? Yes. And because guess what? You were the one to make them open their eyes. Guess who they're going to go to for help for? Are they going to go to you or to some other schmuck? With all respect to all the schmucks in the world that are just trying to pitch them from after hi left foot. Would you like my marketing services? No way in hell. But again, this is why it's incredibly important for you to really take the time to educate them. And guess what? Your podcast I mentioned on day one is a phenomenal Yes, lead generation, but also more importantly, lead education machine. Is the education that's going to allow you to turn someone into a lead and eventually a client. There's no way around it. Does that make sense? That's step number one, to educate them. And then step number two, the second most important task we have is to make them understand, believe, see, and realize that they can do it. Hence why the importance of having a laser focused clarity. So when they hear your statement, they will see, wow, that's amazing. And in the mind, they say, oh, I can do that. Because ultimate question, the one question that separates any person from being just a prospect to being a client, a paying client, is the belief that they can do it. And also that what you offer, yes, works for you, works for others. But what about little me? Because that's the most important person for every one of us. Is that going to work for me? And for that, give them a taste of a win as soon as possible, no matter how small it might be. And this is why it's important that your statement as laser focused clarity for who, what is it, doing what, and how long. All comes full circle. Do you guys see how this works? It's really beautiful. It's a piece of art.
What is it again? Who, what, and for how long?
For who is it? What is it? Doing what? And how long? These 4 non-negotiables. If your offer, your statement doesn't have that, you don't have an offer, you don't have a business. Because again, these are the 2 most important tasks that we are facing when talking to prospects. Does it make sense, guys? Let me ask you another question. Would you invest in a program if you did not understand it and if you don't see yourself being able to achieve that result? Hell no. Even if someone were to offer it for you for free. But once you understand it and you see the value and to see that, hey, I can do that, then it's a no-brainer.
I have a question about all of this kind of on a conceptual basis, because when my understanding with marketing is that like when you have your messaging, right, your avatar, shall we say, or your ideal client will actually self-identify that they have that problem that you're identifying.
Yeah.
And I just would like a little more clarity about how you then put that together.
Putting the what? Be more specific, please.
Well, because if they already recognize that they have that problem, and you're already talking about it and offering an answer, I'm not seeing where the big gap is in there. Is it because we typically aren't giving them enough information or enough specific information, or like I would think they would already be quite compelled to lean in and possibly invest if they've identified that, oh yeah, they do have that problem.
So what we're doing is simply sharing our story, what we overcame, what we had to go through. So the person that's currently going through it right now, he or she will say, wow, that's exactly what I'm going through. That's exactly the person I need to help me, because he or she understands my pain point. She speaks my language, and this is me. So by you simply sharing your story, how you overcame whatever you had to go through, the right person, your Jane of a few steps ago, she will see herself in you and say, wow, this is me. And by you talking, sharing your story, you're going to also be displaying your expertise because you overcame what they're going through. And by that, because at that time, it's all about trust and rapport and belief. And once you do that, they will be compelled to come to you. And of course, you need to have a very compelling, of course, offer that is laser focused. And that's what we're doing here, to have Step number one is to identify what is your zone of genius, what is the pain point you can solve, and for who, and then simply putting yourself in front of that person. All you have to do is just share your story, speak from the heart, be authentic, and have heart-to-heart conversations and the right people. So your message, our message, is not meant for the world, as much as I would love to be that true. But our message for the right person, for your Anns, for your Madlinas, for you James, for you Allisons, for you Allens, for my payments, for that person, it's a God sent. And I want you to focus your message just for the version of you of just a few steps ago. That's step number one. Step number two is to have an offer that is compelling enough that he or she will say, wow, that's exactly what I need. Where have you been all my life? And to achieve that, this is why I've been so much focusing on clarity, clarity, clarity. Clarity is the 80%, I would say even 90% of the success of your business. Does that answer your question?
It does. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you. All right. Yeah. So is that clear, guys? Because this is very powerful. Number one, educate. Number two, give them a taste of a win so they can see themselves, understand, realize, hey, I can do that despite my crazy hectic schedule. And I'm going to give you some real life examples of past students of their offers. So raise your right foot if you're ready to go to the next stage. Oh, she does it. Oh, you're amazing. All right. So again, as I said, once again, to really hone in this message. So what does educating your audience means? It means that we have to tell them what is a specific problem they have, the reason why the problem exists in the first place, the consequence of the problem, and the ultimate negative outcome as a result of inaction. Now, the second step is make them believe that they can, and make them see and understand that they can do it. So what does that mean? Have you guys seen offers when someone says, oh, I help people get fit, I help people become happy, I help people become financially independent? What is your first reaction when you hear that kind of offers? Let's say I make people happy. What comes to mind?
Yeah, right.
What the hell is happy?
Yeah, exactly. What do you mean? Doing what? And the big one, can I do it? So a real example, and I'm sure you've seen that. Oh, help people become a 6-figure or 7-figure coach or speaker. Well, that's beautiful, but someone that's never done it, let's face it, it's impossible. Instead, what if you were to, there's a beautiful and powerful African proverb. What's the best way to eat an elephant? One bite at a time. Even a toddler can eventually eat an elephant with time. So what does that mean is, instead of saying to someone, hey, I'm going to help you become a 7-figure speaker, show them, hey, let me show you how to get your first gig, your first paying gig, in as little as 30, 60, 90, however long it's going to take. Let me show you how to get that first paying client by leveraging the power of Facebook groups in as little as 30 days. Let me help you lose 1 dress size with 1 exercise a day, 5 minutes a day, and as little as 21 days. See how specific is when you hear that? Just 1 dress size, or 10 pounds, or get that first paying client. Because once you've mastered the steps to get that first paying client, then all you have to do is just replicate those steps to get client number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5. And by the time you reach number 5, you've reached your goal. This is a much, much, much more effective way to make your prospect understand, oh, wow, I can do that. I can get 1 client in 30 days by leveraging the power of Facebook groups or LinkedIn or whatever. Again, break it down in a way that they can see, oh, wow, I can do that. Because that's the ultimate question. Can I do it? Can I do it?
I have a
Sure.
question,
Go ahead,
if I may interrupt you,
please.
because we all are helping women, people
Yeah,
achieve results which are not really tangible. So Anne is talking about bringing parents to a state of thriving. That's not really tangible. And this is where I see the difficulty in wording it. I help women to achieve what? So this absence of tangible result, because it's easy to say, I will show you how to get the first paying client within 30 days using the power of Facebook groups. That's a very tangible result.
yes.
But how do we bridge this absence of being tangible? So do you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
because we've got a service.
Sorry?
I see we're all doing service. So we don't
Exactly.
have that thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
This
We
is
are
our
bridge, yes.
difficulty.
Yes, and this is what we're doing today. Working on your statement to take it from vague to clear. So that's a great question. Love that. And by the end of this call, you will know how to do that. And so ultimately, it all boils down to really knowing yourself first and foremost. What is your gift? What is your zone of genius? That's going to determine what is the person that you can help and serve at the highest level, with what, doing what, and how long. Because all you're doing is simply sharing your story, how you did it. And by you sharing your story, you're displaying your expertise because you're able to achieve it for yourself and for your other clients. And that's what's gonna, you will have a blueprint. It's what we're gonna work together to build together. Does that answer your question, Madeleine?
It was not that much a question as a statement.
Oh,
so,
okay.
yeah.
Okay. Thank you. It's a great statement. All right, let's move on. So here's what we're gonna be doing now. We're gonna be taking all of what we've done now, leading up to building your irresistible slam dunk Godfather offer. An offer so good that, in the words of Alex Hormozy, people would feel stupid saying no to. Or in the words of the Godfather, an offer you can't refuse. So the key elements to a Godfather offer is this. Again, same thing. Clarity as to what is the one pain point, number one pain point you're addressing and solving through your podcast, your offer, your business. Clarity as the what is for, which we've already identified. That's the you of just a few steps ago. And the last one, the time frame. How long is it going to take them to achieve that desired and dream outcome? These are absolutely non-negotiable. If your offer is missing any of that, you don't have an offer. As simple as that. So again, the number one pain point, we already went through that. The number one pain point that you can solve is essentially the one that you've overcome yourself. Remember what I said on day one? One of my favorite saying, your crap is your gold, or your mess is your message, in a more PC way. Nothing happened to you, but for you. Look at your life. Look at all the the more painful, the more tragic was the event you had to go through, the bigger, the more beautiful, the gift, the transformation. Because you want your offer to be transformational and even saving lives, saving families. When your offer reaches that point, then that's where you can charge $25,000, $75,000, $100,000. My coach charges $75,000 for a 3-month one-on-one program, one call a week. He has a waiting list. He doesn't do any marketing because he's getting results. He's getting people to 10x their sales without being salesy or sleazy. And that's changing lives. Another lady that was on my program a year ago, she overcame, first of all, she reversed the type 2 diabetes. She got herself out of taking 20 medicines before even leaving bed each morning. She lost 150 pounds. She basically gave herself a second shot at life. She was told she had just turned 50, typical Italian Canadian woman, eating lots of pasta, carbs, and all that good stuff. The doctor told her, listen, if you don't change your diet, you're not going to be, you have less than 5 years to live. And she couldn't even walk. She had to use a cane. She had to have her family build literally an elevator for her to go from the main floor to the second floor in her house. And now first of all, she saved her life. She saved her husband's life as well, because Italian, same diet. Now she's helping families. She's literally saving families. She charges $2,000 a month for a 6 months program, minimum. And people are lining up to pay her because, again, she's saving lives and saving families. Literally, once you reach that point, then money is no longer an issue. Would you pay $2,000 a month on something that will literally save your life and save your family? Absolutely. I would even go and get a loan. I would sell my car. So again, that's what I said earlier. Your offer has to be transformational, not transactional. It's not about your time. It's not about your knowledge. It's about the transformation that you have within you, the transformation that you've achieved in your life, and now share that gift with others. So when I use the word gift, it's not to be cute, but because literally it is a gift. Does that make sense? So again, the more specific your offer is, the message is, the more magnetic it's going to be, the more compelling your offer is going to be. And guess what? The more life-changing it's going to be for your prospect. And as a result, it's going to be widely profitable for you. And the avatar, we've already done that. So again, your avatar is you just a few steps ago, flying through this. So now let's add the main dish for today. And that is the quantifiable, measurable end result. Again, this, guys, is absolutely non-negotiable. So essentially, you call out the person you're helping. For who? Doing what? For who? What is it? Doing what? And how long? You will have access to the slides after, as every day. So that is very important. If your offer is missing any of those 4 keys, you do not have an offer, and as a result, you don't have a business. Again, just to summarize again, the more clarity you have in your messaging and offer, the more your message will be magnetic, the more your offer will be compelling, the more your program will be transformational, life-changing, family-saving, and as a result, your business will be widely profitable. Do you see how this all ties in, guys? Make sense? All right. So here are some examples of offers with a quantifiable, measurable end result, as I like to call it in short, QMER. These are, some of them are my own offers over time. The first one was my academy. When I first launched my academy, it was very simple. Launch your podcast in 3 weeks. That was the first academy. Then I added the keyword profitable. Launch your profitable podcast in 3 weeks. Then monetize your podcast 30 days after launch. Here's another example. Find your first paying client in 30 days through LinkedIn or Facebook. Another example. These are all real examples from real students. Lose 10 pounds in 30 days with only 1 exercise and 10 minutes a day. Now that's something even the most busy man or woman can do. The last one is a business I was involved myself a few years ago. Find, source, select, and launch your first product on Amazon within 90 days. My background is e-commerce. I was living in China. I built and sold a brand on Amazon. When I got back to Canada at the start of the pandemic, one of the guys that I knew from China, 7-figure seller on Amazon, he had a course on selling, teaching people how to sell on Amazon. He made a post on Instagram saying, hey, I'm relaunching my program. Help me make it better. I reached out to him. I said, listen, there's 1 billion other courses on Amazon. Instead, make it fun. Give it a quantifiable, measurable end result. Give it a time frame. He liked it so much that he called me right away. He made me partner. And we helped 4 classes of complete newbies to launch, to find, source, select, and launch the first product on Amazon within 90 days. If you remember, in 2020, the world was completely shut down, despite all of that. Because if you tell someone that's never sold a product on Amazon, hey, let me help you become a 7-figure seller, even sell $10,000 a month, let's face it, that's impossible. But instead, let me show you how to find, select, source, and launch your first product within 90 days. And then you simply replicate those steps to launch number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5. And by the time you reach number 3 or 4, you reach $10,000. So again, remember what I said? What's the best way to eat an elephant? 1 bite at a time. So what I'm saying is take your offer, make it so simple that the person says, wow, I can do that. That's the ultimate test. Take a look today at your offer, at your existing offer, and ask yourself in a very objective way. Imagine you're the prospect, or even ask your spouse, your friend, your neighbor, your couch, your table, hey, what do you think of my offer? Would you invest in that? And hear them, just like we did earlier with each other's statements. And share it on the WhatsApp group as well. So here's a formula that we're going to be using to create and craft your Godfather Irresistible Slam Dunk Offer. I help you call your avatar. Remember what I said? For who? Doing what is it? Doing what and how long? Solve problem with proven solution and time period. The word guaranteed, you can or you cannot add it depending on what niche you're in. And the second version of it is, the first one you emphasize on the outcome. The second you emphasize on the pain. I help that client achieve dream outcome without, for example, an example of that when I had my first offer was, I help coaches launch their podcast in 3 weeks without being a techie or without spending a lot of time. That was a very basic offer at the time, 4 years ago. And of course, it evolved over time. Like, for example, my offer right now, and I just rewrote it the other day, thanks to Chatty. I will read it for you guys. I help coaches, authors, and experts turn their voice into the most powerful client attraction machine by launching their profitable podcast and YouTube channel that lands high-ticket clients, even if they're starting from scratch, have zero audience, and no tech experience, all by building everything around the zone of genius. Yes, it's a bit wordy. I need to summarize that. But the short of it is this. I help coaches, authors, and speakers. Authors, coaches, and speakers, because that's who I am. Again, look at yourself, what you are, and that's your avatar. So I help authors, coaches, speakers get the first or next high-ticket client to their very own profitable podcast and YouTube channel, even if they have no audience to start with, in as little as 30 days from launch. Speaking of that, and I learned that from an actual lawyer, to not use the word and the timing in or within. So within 30 days or in 24 hours, because you're going to expose yourself to legal liabilities. Instead, use the word in as little as. Whatever the outcome you're offering, you're delivering, highly recommend, and this comes from a lawyer, in as little as, because you cannot control whether that person is going to implement what you're saying. Just like the saying, you can take the horse to the water, but you cannot drink for the horse. I can take you to the gym, but I cannot do the exercises for you. So to cover yourself legally, I highly recommend you use the wording in as little as. So for example, my offer is, again, I help authors, coaches, and speakers get the first and next paying client by launching their own profitable podcast and YouTube channel, even if they have no audience to start with, in as little as 30 days from launch. Does it make sense, guys? So it's very important, in as little as. Do not use the word in 30 days or within, because you expose yourself to liability. Some schmuck is not going to get resolved and they're going to come after you. So these are the two frameworks for your offer. The first one, you emphasize on the outcome. The second, you emphasize on the pain. So let's hear quickly your offer with this framework. Left foot. Do you prefer left
I
foot or
was
right foot?
processing.
Do you prefer left foot or right foot?
Left foot, right foot,
Oh,
left,
okay.
right, left.
Okay.
Oh, Lord. I help busy parents. See, this is where I offer the service. This is where I'm getting stuck. So, yeah, so I like the word lead instead of help, but that's fine.
Let me add, sorry,
so
time out. Let me add something else I forgot to add. If you only
Yeah.
have successful clients and students at your program and you have a bunch of testimonials, then emphasize on the outcome because you have the proven
okay.
record. But if you just started with a new offer, emphasize on the pain point.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yep. So I lead busy parents that are stuck in chaos and overwhelm.
So which one is the number one dominating thing? Is it chaos or overwhelm? Because we're going to focus on one.
Right. So that's just it. So when I look at let me explain myself and I'll get you to help walk me through this.
Okay.
So I was the busy parent that was exhausted, overwhelmed, frustrated, irritated, exhausted, short fuse, family suffering, disconnected, you name it. So I've often referred to it as the hamster wheel, but I don't like the lingo because, like you say, some cultures may not know what the hamster wheel is. So that's where I'm struggling with terminology because, like you say, you don't want to be listing all that stuff. So how can I have a word?
You can use all of those in your copy, but in your statement,
Yeah.
no.
So I help busy parents.
Exhausted parents.
Exhausted?
Yeah. Okay. I help busy, exhausted parents.
So all of those words that you mentioned, which one was the most painful for you, Anne, when you were going to that?
They were all equally up there. But you're right. Exhaustion explains the stress. It explains the chaos because that's what creates the exhaustion.
Yeah.
So busy, exhausted parents. So there's a problem right in the who with. And see, again, I started thinking about finding the purpose and passion. And I think it was Arlene, somebody said it about the excitement. And I'm like, I'm excitable. I love excitement. So helping busy, exhausted parents find excitement and passion, or to live with excitement and passion. I got a 5-week program. So should I say 5 weeks or is that too long?
In as little as 5 weeks.
Okay.
Always use the word in as little.
In as little as 5 weeks. I wrote that down actually.
Beautiful. And you have the recordings after, just watch it after. So
I help busy, exhausted parents. Is that the problem? Busy, exhausted parents.
So, okay, is it a new offer? Is it an existing successful offer?
No, this is new.
Okay, so if it's new, I recommend you emphasize and focus on the pain. If it's an already existing offer with the successful testimonials, then emphasize on the dream outcome. Because the first thing they want to see is, hey, do you have any track record? Do you have any proof of what you're saying? So testimonials.
So I should be using the second one?
Yes.
Okay, so
Emphasize
I
on the
help
pain.
help busy, exhausted parents.
Okay.
Create a life of excitement and passion in as little as 5 weeks.
You're forgetting one key element. Without what is the pain without? So for example, for me, is
Oh, well,
being a techie without spending a ton of money to launch a podcast. So what is
okay, so I should take out the exhausted parents then? Just say
no, no,
busy
no, no. You
parents?
use exhausted parents. That's who you're targeting. You call them out.
Okay. Okay, so I lead busy, exhausted parents create a life of excitement and passion without the high stress, and overwhelm in as little as 5 weeks.
Now you've got something. I like that. Clap both feet.
I gotta
Now.
write this shit down.
Clap both feet and show us. There you go.
That was painful.
There you go. So imagine what kind of pain your prospect is going through. Jokes aside, but yeah, that's you're getting somewhere now. So write it down, share it in the WhatsApp group, and we're gonna help you with that. Madlina, what is your offer using this framework? So again, number one is if it's already an existing successful offer with testimonials. Number two, if it's a brand new and you have no testimonials yet. Number one is on result. Focus on result. Number two is on the pain.
I help mothers whose children left the house and they feel lost. How to start writing a new radiant chapter of their life in less than 30 days.
And as little
in as little as 30 days. I just wrote it down.
So you're focusing on the outcome. So does that mean that this is an existing successful offer and you have testimonials to back it up?
I don't have testimonials.
Okay.
But the pain is, so I didn't say without.
Yes. So if you don't have a testimonial, basically, I would recommend you focus on the pain until you build up the testimonials. Then you can focus on the dream outcome. Because if you offer right off the gate is on the offer, the first thing they will ask is, so what's your proof? What's your results?
Well, the biggest pain of these mothers is feeling lost and having no purpose in life.
Okay, so let's hear again your statement using the second formula.
I help mothers whose children left the house and feel lost. Start writing a new radiant chapter of their lives without what? Can you help me with without what?
You tell me, that's your offer, my friend. I'm joking. Okay. Without
no, I'm asking the ladies.
Yeah. Without let's hear the ladies. I'm gonna shut up. I need a sip.
Say it again so we can get the wheels turning.
Let's use the empty nesters. So I help empty nest mothers who feel lost.
But honestly, I if I can add something, I prefer much more the mothers with children left, because empty nesters can mean different things for different people. When I hear the word empty nesters, maybe from Canada, that means women with no retirement, no money. At least to me. That's what it means. So if you're focusing more on the women who have the children that have left the house, then make it clear.
Okay, thank you. That's a good point.
And again, on that note, studies have been done that the most successful businessmen, politicians are all the ones that use very simple 3rd to 4th grade language. You're not trying to do a presentation in front of, science, what is it? Quantum physics engineers or doctors. Even you're a pharmacist and a doctor, yourself, Madlina, break it down, simple language.
Okay, I help.
So could she go ahead?
No. Tell me.
What about if she started with, instead of I help, what if she started with mothers that have had, I lost it. Um, so I help mothers. Like, I'm just wondering if she should mention the empty nesting, so to speak, at the end. So she helps mothers find joy and excitement in their lives after the kids have all
Left the house.
So what
left the house.
Madeleine, I love the one that you said. I help mothers whose children have left the house. That's very clear, very specific.
Yeah.
I love that because if I were a mother and I had my kids growing up and left the house, that would speak directly not just to my heart but to my soul. Wow, she speaks my language. She understands me. Where have you been all my life?
Okay, I help mothers whose children left the house release the feeling of being lost.
Okay.
And find a new purpose in as little as 30 days.
So you're focusing on the outcome.
Yes, but I'm thinking about without what. So at 3:15 in the morning, my brain is not functioning. Not even one glass wine will help me. So I've done 80% of the work. So
if you need to 30 seconds to get yourself a glass of wine, go ahead.
Not at 3 in the morning.
So you can sleep like a baby after that.
Yeah. But
so what about using the word grieve? Because I know, like, my child's 18, she just graduated. She's still here, so I'm not an empty nester. But man, it was emotional beyond what I thought.
Of course it is. You stand at the door of an empty room and you wish in the middle of the night, your daughter will come or son and say, Mom, can I have an ice cream? And this silence is killing you. And this amount of time where you don't know, and the feeling of, who am I when I'm no more needed by my children and by my family? So this reinventing myself, finding a new purpose. So it is an emotional moment.
Find a new purpose. It needs to be in there.
Yeah. Release the fear of being lost, find a new purpose.
Without losing their mind. I don't know, I just made that up. That's silly. Without
no, but release the grief and find a new passion and purpose.
Yeah. Without what? Do we have to have without?
That would help a lot because that emphasizes on the pain, that alleviates the fear that, hey, I can do that. It's not that hard. Because, for example, my example, launching a podcast, one of the main reasons people were holding back people is that they were not a techie or they didn't have the time. So understand your audience. What is a challenge that's holding them back from achieving that, and use that in your statement. Hey, without this, without that.
What about without the fear and overwhelm?
Then without losing themselves.
There you go. Now you have something concrete. You have a starting point from where to launch your irresistible offer. Awesome. Let's move on. What about you, Jane?
The farther we go, the more lost I am with what I even do, which is something that happens with kind of looking at this all anew again. I have a successful program and I have testimonials.
Perfect.
So
So what is it again that you do? Say it, but this time just add the time factor in as little as. And make it shorter than what you said last time.
Okay. I don't really identify in that who the people are that I'm working with, even.
Okay.
But anyway, I help. We'll start there and you can help me fill in.
Sure.
My goal is to bring people into a place of radiance and vibrant energy so they have vitality and connection to their inner being, maybe.
Okay. Yeah, that is honestly, if I were to hear that,
Without, without losing their identity or without
okay.
um
And the time frame?
I don't
Can I
usually
jump in
give
here and give a
a
testimonial
time
on this?
frame. Thank you, Arlene.
I'm going to give you an example of what she did for me.
Wow.
I was, this was probably, well, it'd be in February, probably February 5th, if that was right. My brother had just passed. My furnace broke down. It was -30. I'm looking through pictures because my sister-in-law wants pictures for this, for the slideshow for his memorial. My sister's in the hospital with a brain bleed. My other brother's in the hospital with a heart attack. And I went into panic mode about 10 o'clock one night, 9 o'clock. And I messaged her and I said, do you have any time this week that we could get together? And so she asked a couple of questions and she called me immediately within a half an hour with her Wonder Zone energy work. I slept awesome that night.
Wow.
So that's an idea of what she does with her little Wonder Zone, because we all talk about the woo-woo, and somehow we got to make this funny for Jane and her Wonder Zone that it really works. Come on, we can do this.
Yes, definitely. So here's a suggestion. I help people master challenging times of their lives, implementing my integrative approach without, and you can even stress on a good night's sleep, but your approach is integrative, very highly spiritual, and you guide people through challenging time of their lives with
I
ease.
think for Jane, yeah, go ahead.
No, I'm done. It was just a suggestion.
I would highly recommend for you, Jane, after hearing the powerful testimony about Arlene, to use that so that people can sleep with peace like a baby at night, because they want concrete benefits and not very concrete. So,
But you know what? Her ideal client, though, isn't going to be the average person that doesn't understand energy work. So she's going to be dealing with woo-woo people.
Yeah.
Well, actually,
So,
lots of them do not.
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
And they will identify something about me. Like I have strangers come up to me and say, there's something about you and I don't know what it is, but I want that.
It's
And
your
then
energy.
I say, well, this is
But
what I
it's your
do.
energy, it's your aura.
And they're like, yes, that's what I want, right? When can I start? And I'm like, Arlene, I'll phone you in a half an hour.
Yeah.
But you help them through challenging times of their lives so that they go through this challenging times with ease, using your magic toolbox. Call it this way, or something what resonates with you. And people don't need to know that this is your radiant energy.
Also, what I would
healing energy.
What I would recommend and invite all of you guys to do is write down and share your statement on the WhatsApp group. We're all gonna help each other, and I will also give you my feedback and using those two frameworks and help you rewrite those. I'm not gonna do it for you, but I can help you get in the right direction.
Okay,
Please share that. And you mentioned something, Madlena, for Jane's statement. If you can kindly share that in the chat or in the WhatsApp group, that would be fantabulous.
Yes, I'd appreciate that.
Yes, absolutely.
I'll listen to the replay and capture more of it as well.
Awesome.
Wonderful, wonderful conversation. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you for sharing your gifts. And I love what you said. I've been using the sentence, well, zone of genius, but what is it that you use? Wonder zone?
Yes,
I love that. And if
yes.
I will start using it as well
Beautiful.
with your blessings.
Well, it is a compelling word, and I might trademark it because it's the word I use in my programs as well.
Okay.
And
That's what you're going to be known for.
yeah, it has an origin in my work. Like there is a reason that I call it that name. So,
Yeah.
there's lots of pieces around that, but it is really it's a lovely name. Yeah.
Well, why don't you use it in your statement?
Yes.
I, Jane, the lady of the Wonder Zone, help people going through challenging times of their lives to master them with ease, with grace, with joy, and implementing my
Proven formula
my
and
Wonder Zone.
as little as, yes. So and at the end, I would highly recommend you add the fact that, hey, so they can sleep at peace at night. That's a very concrete. I will share with you guys a powerful video by the legendary Jim Rohn. He says, when someone asks you, what do you do? Don't answer with the title of your work or your business, because that's going to get you boxed right away, and they can't wait to end the conversation. Instead, focus on the impact. Let's say I'm a janitor. Oh, I'm a janitor. Okay. People will judge you and will box you. But instead, use an example of a janitor when he's asked, so what do you do? So, well, I make sure that the people that come to work, they work in an environment, a clean environment that inspires them, that brings the best out of them. Now, that is something that's going to get the person intrigued and really open up a deep, meaningful conversation. I'll share this video with you guys. I recommend you watch it. Ask yourself, what is the impact of the offer, and focus on that, not on the title. So, for example, when I go to events, people ask me, so what do you do, Payment? My answer is not that I'm a podcaster, a coach, an author, a speaker, none of that. My answer is I'm a collector. Oh, what do you collect? I collect success stories. What do you mean? Well, I ensure my clients win. So what does that mean? You get them really riled up, really into you. As opposed, if I were to answer with, I'm a coach, I'm a podcast, oh, that's nice. And they can't wait to end the conversation or change the topic. See what I mean? When you focus on the impact, you're really taking the person from a surface level conversation they can't wait and they don't give a damn, to really being intrigued, really opening the doors to a really deep, meaningful conversation. And guess what? That deep, meaningful conversation will lead towards trust and rapport, which leads towards doing business with. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So ask yourself, what is the impact of what you do? For example, for me, I'm a collector. So find what is it your impact. I'll send you that video. I'll share it in the WhatsApp group. Please watch it. It's about 20 minutes, but some of the best 20 minutes you will spend. It's going to blow your mind away. All right. Who was next? We're talking about Jane. Now, Arlene.
Yeah. So yeah, I'd go back to the same one I had yesterday. I help independent women with their fears of going into retirement in as little as 3 weeks.
So is this a
Release.
new offer, or is this an existing successful offer?
Oh, the offer, yeah. Okay, sorry. I was taking notes here too. So,
So the rule of
what
thumb,
offer did I?
the rule of thumb is this: if you have a successful existing offer and you have testimonials to back it up, build your offer around the dream outcome, the desired outcome, because you have the
Right.
testimonials, the credentials to back it up. But if it's
Right.
a brand new offer, emphasize and focus your offer around the pain point. Does that make sense?
Yes. Yes. I
Okay.
think I have it written here. Yeah, I'm going to be working on the offer.
Awesome. Work on it, share it in the WhatsApp group, and we're gonna all pitch in.
Yeah.
Awesome. Allison.
All right. So I help women in unsafe relationships increase their confidence to leave safely without the overwhelm in as little as 30 days.
Love that. Sweet, short, to the point. So share it. Every one of you guys share your offer using this framework in the WhatsApp group, and we're gonna take it apart. All right, let's move on. Here's some real life examples of past students. I help female executives over 40 experience greater health, reverse diabetes without drugs and expensive medical bills in as little as. I help male entrepreneurs in the 40s and 50s get the first paying client. I need to update that from within to in as little as 30 days using the power of Facebook groups. I help busy moms in the 30s lose 1 dress size in 30 days without going to the gym with only 1 5-minute exercise per day. That's a very compelling offer. I help single dads find, select, source, and launch their first product on Amazon in as little as 90 days. Or the next one, I help introverted entrepreneurs gain unshakable confidence and land a TEDx talk without any presentation experience in as little as 30 days. So here's my offers over time. Previous offer, I help authors, coaches, speakers with a tiny or no audience at all launch a profitable podcast and YouTube channel to get leads on demand and clients organically in as little as 60 days. And the current offer, which again will be updated and upgraded, I help authors, coaches, and speakers get their first and next client to their very own profitable podcast and YouTube channel, even if they have no audience to start with, in as little as 60 days or 30 days from launch. So use these frameworks. What do you think of those offers? Whether it's those from the previous students, what do you think of those? Let's say you're talking to this person. Is this clear? You know, what is it? Yeah. So again, remember,
Very clear and to the point.
call out the person for who, what is it, doing what, and how long. And also, if it's an existing successful offer and you have glowing testimonials to back it up, emphasize your offer and build your offer on the desired and dream outcome. If it's a brand new offer and you have no testimonials, emphasize and build your offer around the pain point. Like, for example, for me, it was I help coaches launch the podcast in as little as 3 weeks without being a techie or without spending a ton of time or money. That was my very first offer. What do you think of my offers over time?
You can see it refined.
Sorry?
You can see it get refined.
Yes. And the one that
Getting more specific too.
Yeah, and the one that Chadi gave me, he gave me quite a few variations of it. The one that I shared with you is pretty long. It says, I help coaches, authors, and experts turn their voice into the most powerful client attraction machine by launching their profitable podcast and YouTube channel that lands high-ticket clients, even if they're starting from scratch, have zero audience, and no tech experience, all by building everything around the zone of genius. A bit wordy and long, but I like it. I'm going to use that as a foundation and make it clear myself as well. So guys, here's another incredibly powerful fact of life. Offer creation is wealth creation. Your your most profitable task is to make as many offers as possible. And by offers, I mean getting into conversations with the exact ideal clients, with your Janes, your Madelinas, your Anns, your Arlene's, your Alice's, and my payments. And the best way to do this is through this, having a conversation on a podcast. So again, spend your time, as my coach likes to say, focus your time on your MMAs, which is money-making activities. Don't spend 6 months on a logo, or a headline. ask yourself, whatever task you have at hand, is this going to make me money right now on the next week or so? If yes, focus on it. If not, outsource it. You want to focus on having deep, meaningful conversations so you can make offers to the right people. All right. So we already went through that. So again, the quantifiable, measurable end result is, sorry, the 4 factors. Call out the person. What is it? Doing what? And how long? These are absolutely non-negotiables. Without these 4 elements, you have no offer, no business. Any questions?
Put them in the WhatsApp group.
You're a smart cookie. I like it. Questions?
Happy Feet. You
Sorry?
can call me Happy Feet. You can call me Happy Feet.
I like that. Let me write this down. Happy feet. Happy days. No, happy feet. Okay, where's the chat? Okay. Happy feet. So I don't forget it. Did I post it in the right group? Yeah. Okay. Anyways, so questions, ladies. Let's have at least one question.
You want one question from each of us?
Doesn't matter. At least one question.
Okay, so we're now crafting our message of genius.
Your slam dunk, irresistible Godfather high ticket offer. Yes.
Right. So today's Wednesday.
For me, it's Thursday.
Thursday.
Yeah.
Yeah, Thursday, Friday. Are we going to have by then enough information to be able to hit the ground running and know how to get our high ticket clients? Like I know with YouTube, I throw all my links in there now whenever I post anything, whether it be a short or a long form video, but I've kind of slacked off the YouTube channel because I've been in creation mode.
Yeah.
So I really would like to launch this program when it's done properly and effectively and have clients.
Listen, let me share that as an example with you. I've had people, past attendees of the challenge, that by just implementing the information I share for free with you guys here, they've been able to get on calls and get in meaningful conversations with exact ideal clients, something they had not been able to in a year or two. And I had people get clients by just implementing what I'm sharing. Because again, just like the saying, I can take it to the well, but you have to drink it. I cannot drink it for you. It's going to depend on whether you're going to implement it and how much of it you're going to implement. Does that answer your question? And for the rest, to hold your hand and help you build your program, we do that extensively inside the academy. So yeah. Any other questions? Jane?
Tonight was very good, actually. I'm just appreciating. That was a helpful night for me, so thank you.
You're very welcome. So does that mean the previous nights were not good?
Well,
I'm joking.
well,
I'm
I
joking.
wasn't present.
I'm joking. I'm joking. Thank you. I appreciate it. It means a lot to me. Thank you.
So now that I'm present, I'm appreciating it. Maybe that would be a better comment.
No, I appreciate it. I love that. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for being here tonight. And yeah, so I really hope that, honestly, guys, what I want the most is for you guys, as I say, this is not entertainment. This is life-changing. I'm the poster child for it. This is what I implemented to get myself from, my story, broke, lost, depressed, suicidal, to now living life of my dreams on my terms. And beyond all the, books, academy, successful podcasts, TED Talks, conferences, and so on and so forth. So it works when implemented. That's a big key here. Any other question, ladies, before we call it a day, a night? And so that Madlena can finally go and grab her glass of wine and go to sleep like a baby at peace.
Madlena has 2 hours to sleep and the day starts. It's Thursday already.
All right, go, go, go. All right, so if you have no more questions, ladies, have a fantabulous evenings, and I'll see you guys. Oh, tomorrow is going to be, I forgot to mention it. Oh, an invitation. Book a call with me one-on-one for next week so we can further brainstorm together to see how we can implement all of these with you. And then sneak peek into tomorrow. Tomorrow is going to be tech day. All things about tech. What kind of microphone, accessories, software, creating your cover art, naming your podcast the right way, launching a YouTube channel, your podcast, recording, editing, all things tech. It's going to be tomorrow.
Your hair's beautiful. We'll see you tomorrow.
I love that happy feet. Thank you. All right, ladies, have a good one. See you tomorrow. Take care. God bless.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, Payman.
You're welcome. Oops.